Hey everybody, welcome back to Featured Elements. My name is Dave, and today what we're working on is a Boxer 118. It's a mini trencher. You might have seen that we've used it around here quite a few times. I've owned the machine for 12 years maybe. It's a 2008 model. It runs really well. It just has some parts on it, a bushing that's wore out, some other things we're going to take a look at. We're going to try to get it all serviced and back up to par for possibly the next owner. I just don't see any reason to keep it around any longer. Everything that I need to do with it, I could do with a mini excavator, probably from here on out. I just don't see my need to be trenching too much. So here's our Boxer 118. As we take a gander around it, you know, a lot of the items on here that you'd normally see wear in, there just isn't a whole lot of wear. It's not like this is a fast or real powerful machine. These tracks I've had on here for about, gosh, I guess they may be original, now that I think about it. Anyway, so the tracks have got some age, but they're in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of dry rot on them, but not too bad. Everything here is in pretty good shape. Cable for the pedals, pretty good shape. But what we need to do is we need to service this machine. It's got a Kohler 18 horsepower electric start. We need to change the hydraulic filter. Need to lube any grease spots we got. And then this bushing right in here is wore out, which concerns me. That's one thing we're going to be taking care of. We're going to get the chain adjusted up. You can't tell. It's got a little bit of sag to it that I don't want in it. And then we're going to try to straighten up all this here. My auger that shoves the dirt out has seen better days, and I believe that it's still available to replace this piece from the manufacturer, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to straighten it up. Maybe do a little welding and grinding on it just to get it back into shape. The auger's got carbide teeth on it, and they're getting dull, but you know, for most people that would probably do just fine. I mean, I've used it fairly recently. And we're also going to get in here, we're going to get that battery fastened back down. If you can see that in there, we're going to get that battery fastened down. It's come loose, and we're just going to clean it up. So let's get to work on this thing. I'm using a little LA Awesome and water just to get the mildew and the grime off this thing, a little bit of the grease, but it does a pretty good job. Let's see if we get the power washer started. So the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to drop the hydraulic oil out of this thing. That's the plug right there. I think I've got it propped up to where maybe all of it won't come out at once. It's a pretty big tank. I couldn't figure out what the capacity was. I've got the manual stored away somewhere, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull the plug and see what we get. So I've had this filter off already once just to see if I could find any information on it. I couldn't. So I had to look it up. I came up with a Baldwin filter, and I don't know a whole lot about them. I'm used to using wicks, but at the time I ordered, it was over the weekend and parts store was closed. So anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll get her on here, and then we'll work on getting the all the hydraulic fluid in it. This is going to be kind of an awkward position for me, but I'll see if I can get it in there without spilling all over the floor. But I'm not feeling terribly optimistic, and I hope this is coming through pretty well, because man, it is flat raining out. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Off here. Just makes it easier to get to everything. We need to get in and fix this battery. It's bouncing around in there like riding a horse. That's all there is to that. Lay that right there. As you can see, the battery's been loose in there. I got one tie down that still somewhat functions, but the other one's gone. So we'll see if we can't get something to hold that side down. So that battery's not rolling around in there like a wild animal. Seems like every time I go to take an oil filter off, it's just wrenched on there. So the oil filter's in. Air filter out of here. I hope I got the right one for it. Not too complicated, but it's kind of like working on a plumbing project around your house. Always takes, seems like I can build half the house in 3 trips.
But when it comes to some kind of little plumbing issue, it seems like I always have to make 15 trips to the store. Well, what in the world is keeping that from coming out of there? Couple of hydraulic lines just kind of in the way. Ta-da! Look at him go. Professional. Well, that looks good. Looks like the air filter cover's been catching plenty of dirt. Oh my gosh. I'm kind of ashamed. I've owned this machine too long. Have it looking like this, huh? I mean, the air filter's catching it all, but man, it was due. Looks to me. All the dirt and dust sitting on there. Pre-filter's dirty. Looks like the filter's dirty. I've seen worse, but I'm not proud of that. Everything inside there looks pretty good and clean. I think we're all right. Not too bad. So I'll get these cleaned up. I'll do that off camera. I'll go out and wash these up, and when I get back, we'll get the rest of it taken care of. Tuck them in there. Simple enough. We're about to find out. Yeah, it's 5/8. Yeah, it's a little sooty. I'm guessing it was running just a little rich from the air filter being plugged, is what my guess would be. That one was about 35. See if we can get this one gapped about the same. Yep. You can buy these tune-up kits anywhere from $25 to $70, depending on if you want the Kohler name brand or if you want something made by somebody else. I just bought, I'm middle of the road. Is that going in there? that silly thing. To go. Got the other plug here. Let me see what size this thing is. Oh my goodness. These plugs are much, much bigger. They look to be about 13/16. Anyway, I'll run it down in there by hand. I didn't even check it before I stuck it in there. I just jammed it in. The rest of it looks the same. Come out of there. I'm just making sure that plug wasn't, or that plug socket wasn't tight down in there, and that's caused me to think that plug was tight, but I think we're good. I don't know the last time this was changed either. A lot of people don't like these little spring clamps, but I like them. I like them fine. Your eyesight gets bad and you can't see anything. Whoops. Take that off. I'm going to go ahead and use these clamps again, but I got my finger over that fuel line, so the shutoff's after the filter on this thing. For what reason, I don't know. Up here. That's up there. And let's get this little dude. Oh, goodness. Well, ain't that special. Filter here. Not going to be impossible to get to, just not as much fun as I was hoping. Let's see what the gap on this one came out of the box at about 40. Went down to about 35. Well, that's gonna be a tricky one. For such a simple machine, really simple machine. don't know. I can't tell Kemosabe if that dude's coming out of there or not. I got sweat in my eyes. At the top of the charts this week is sweat in my eye. And they're long-winded too. Doesn't help. Ta-da! So, really burning pretty decent, a little rich, but for my taste, but not all bad. Let's see if we get the new one down in there. Okay. Gotta switch sockets again. Sometimes it just takes 3 sockets to change 2 spark plugs. Figure that out. You goofy thing. I hope it's going. It kind of feels like it is. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Okay. Ta-da. Man, it's a Christmas miracle. Like a Christmas poo. So, we're gonna try to do this nice and easy. And our triple funnel setup here. No, actually just double funnel setup. But just nice and easy. Nice and slow. Make this the only part of the whole expedition I don't make a mess out of. Well, let's put it this way. I hope it's in there. Trying to get in there. I cut the top of the water bottle off and stuck in there. Now there's no oil in the oil filter. It's a side mount, so I couldn't, of course, couldn't put any in it, but So it turns out this pin is broken. It's broken right where the grease zert had a ring around it to let the grease go around the pin, and it's broken there, and somebody's welded it before. Pretty cobbled up job. So we'll get a new pin cut up and put in there. So what I got is a little hitch pin here. That is it measured about 5 under an inch, maybe 2 or 3 thousandths under an inch. So I was afraid to get the, they had another style there, but they were actually running a little bit over an inch, and I don't think I want to fight any clearance issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off, a couple spots. I'm going to grind some flats in it for the retainer, and that should do us for our pin. I don't know that it's going to be the same as what we had, because I don't know what the material was. You know, if it was 4140 or it didn't seem to be heat treated. But I'm pretty sure this is pretty low grade steel. But anyway, we'll grind this up. It'll work, and whoever gets the machine, I'll let them know what I've done, and that way they can watch for it if they start to have a little wobble in the arm there. They could call manufacturer and get a new one. So anyway, let's get them fixed up for the meantime, and we'll go from there. So we'll cut that off. We'll cut that off about there. That way I keep this taper, and this hole should stick just outside the frame, so it really won't be an issue. And I think that'll work, and I'll grind a couple flats, hopefully so the retainer will fit on. Adjusting chains very often. It's usually because they're starting to wear out, but the teeth look worn, but the rest of it looks pretty good. Like I said, the sprocket's got a little wear on it, but I'm just not an expert on anything. Let's see if we can get. I'm not going to tighten it up too awful much, because I don't think real tight is going to be a good idea. Now I remember, and maybe we'll see later in the video from last time, but this bolt was bent, and I can't remember if I was able to get it straightened up any or not, or if I even tried, or I'm not sure what's going on there. I do remember this, that with an adjustable wrench, it's just about impossible to get on it. I think we got about all the slack out of it we can get. Let's see if we can bust the bolts loose. There we go, little buddy. Okay. So that's that. And what I'm going to do now, get a little WD-40. So that's where we're going to end this mess for this week. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you've enjoyed it, give us the thumbs up, subscribe. Love to see you back for the next video. Thanks for watching.